can't think of many bands that you could book for Fortress, 2000 Trees, Damnation, and Arctangent, and they would fit on all of them.
Yo, what's going on? It's the Heavyist podcast, weekly worship at the altar of radness. Agriculture, ecstatic black metal band, just released one of the most surprising records of the goddamn year. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So yeah, they're a 4-piece black metal band from LA. Their new album, it's called The Spiritual Sound, and it was released on the 3rd of October through the Flenser. So we talked about their self-titled album, which I think came out in 2022. It was incredibly uplifting, elegiac. It was emotional. I remember reading on their Bandcamp that they were inspired by the ocean, and I listened to it by the ocean because I enjoyed it mostly on holiday, and I really felt that. And I was
not
really
the post-metal band, just the body of water.
Just the actual body of water, not the ocean as in the ocean. The ocean as in the ocean. You know, where you go surfing and that place. That's where it was inspired by.
That thing where sharks live.
That big thing, wet thing that you sometimes dip your toes in.
Big wet fella, I know him.
Oh yeah, that guy, I know him. But yeah, like The Spiritual Sound, when we were first sort of presented the original single, I can't even bloody say it, man. How do you say
Body
it?
Dharma? Is it Bodhidharma?
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll take that. Body of Dharma. We were both a bit perplexed, weren't we? We were both a bit like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was into it. I enjoyed it. It was really interesting, but it was a bit strange.
It was so sort of aspirational. It was such a brilliant sort of evolution. And it was, it was quite close to the Death Heaven record just coming out. So we sort of had our our guard up a little bit on people going, "Oh, you're just going to go and Death Heaven up, are you?" And mate, the record has come along, and it has absolutely destroyed any preconceptions of what I thought this band were and how brilliant they could be. Because this album is unreal, mate. The way it just races out the traps with this proper like stompy banger, like this proper like barnstormer, proper chunky stomper with like, and that like ends in like a scramsy mathy chaos sort of portrayal of guilt kind of way. Like, this is from a band, you know, their tag is like ecstatic black metal, and that absolutely worked in the concept in the context of the previous record, because it was lots of this like elating tremolo, uplifting, brilliant moments, and you're like, oh, that tag makes so much sense. But I feel like now it's actually reductive to their overall offering, because they have just bloomed, mate.
Couldn't agree more, man. There's so much going on this record. Like, it's so weird and diverse and interesting, sometimes baffling, but always really engaging. And the thing that I find so perplexing about this band is, like, if you look at the base components of what makes up Agriculture's sound, it's really obnoxious. Like, the vocals are properly shrill or occasionally really guttural. It's about 80% blast beats. There's a really jagged guitar tone. The production value is very lo-fi and designed to kind of give you that live ramshackle style. The song structures are weird and kind of awkward and strange. And like, that description, I could be talking about like Dark Throne or something. But the final product of Agriculture's music is so bright and positive and uplifting and really fun. But then when you look at My Garden, that first track, there's moments where it sounds like Slipknot. It's mad. I never ever expected Agriculture to come out with a song that sounded like that. There's about, I mean, basically most songs on this record kind of give me that sense at some moment or another. You just never would expected, like, if you were sitting and writing an FFO for this band, there's so many like touch points that you come into. You just get so confused. Like, obviously that you get your sort of your Death Heaven, your Alcest, your Panopticon kind of thing, but then you could also look at like Frail Body or State Faults, the kind of like scramsy post-hardcore stuff. You know, you might look at weirder stuff like Imperial Triumphant or Liturgy. You might even look at like Acres or Being as an Ocean, that kind of like really spacey, like post-hardcore, very like emotional. Basically, this is a band for anybody who likes music that's heavy and emotional. That's kind of that's agriculture. You can't say this is a band for black metal fans. This is a band for screamo fans. It's a band for people if you like your music heavy and emotional. This is gonna tick your boxes. Like I can't think of many bands that you could book for Fortress, 2000 Trees, Damnation, and Arctangent, and they would fit on all of them. Like I don't know that there's many other bands that would exist in that space, but Agriculture are that band.
Yeah. There's real dynamic tracks on this thing. They're not caught up in just being a black metal band. They're caught up in writing really interesting music, and that really does separate them from just a huge flock of bands. Like how many? Like there's a couple of solos on this record that just absolutely explode the track and make me goddamn smile every time I get to them.
They're absolutely incredible.
It's not something you genuinely sort of would, you don't put that in the same ballpark as a band that's going to sound like Death Heaven or State Faults or this sort of place. I think this whole thing is just beautifully, like creatively triumphant. There's really cool punky energy in like Micah 515, and then it goes into sort of like D-beat black metal crust, and then the weight, like proper stark blackened intensity. It's quite sort of loose though, and it tucks into this almost like garagey vibe.
Yeah, man.
There's there's like Serenity has this raw sort of energy that's sort of like early black metal, but it's so cool and lo-fi, and it has their sort of ecstatic sound. And the production, as you said, like I really like that. I think it's really feels organic, feels real. It feels like such a perfect representation of their live sound. Like, I mean, there's a track on this record that literally sounds like Pine Grove as well, which is amazing.
Yeah, that track is lovely, isn't it? And
like unreal.
I think like if you listen to the way that we're talking about this record, I don't know about you, but like my first listen to this record, I felt a bit jarred. Like it felt a bit disparate. And, so many ideas and so many styles and motifs all over the place. But like I really am going to be a warrior for listen to it again and keep listening to it, because the more repeat listens you get to it, the more you start to understand and unwrap it. And it's like a game of pass the parcel, where every layer you take off another layer. Maybe there's a bag of Haribo or a fun-sized Mars bar in that layer. Maybe you understand a little bit more of it. But when you get to the middle and you find that prize, you're going to be happy as Larry. Like, this is an incredible body of work. And like, there's no person on the planet who could describe this album as half-assed. This is a whole-assed album. This is like an arse and three-quarters, this album. There's so much that happens on this record. There's so many parts. Something when you were kind of talking about some of the tracks, like the way that Micah 515 is this almost like a rock and roll track in places. Like, it's got a really rollicking drum groove, that the lead guitar work is really good. The solo moment is incredible. And then the way that it kind of like bends the chord progression into a little bit of jazzy, and then transitions into the weight, and then the weight becomes the most sort of free-formed, weird, descending into chaos track on the record. And then you get into, like you're saying, Dan's Love Song, where it's got this like explosions in the sky style swell. I kind of think he sounds a bit, when he's singing, he sounds a bit like Simon Neil from Biffy Clyro, when he gets a bit more like understated and intimate. And I really think that worked. And like just the journey that this record takes, that's like a really cliche, cheesy thing to say about music. And it's a journey, man. But this album, it really is a bloody journey. It's just factual. Like the way
there's no way other to describe it.
No, I wish I could think of something better. I could say it's like traveling, but that's the same thing.
It's like going somewhere for a bit, but then going somewhere else for a bit.
maybe you stay for a few days, but then you move on to the next place.
Maybe you've got a connecting flight and you're in Singapore for 16 hours. You don't.
Oh man, and like the use of like space and having that moment like Dan's love song, and then also Hallelujah as well.
Yeah,
and even
Hallelujah.
Like,
oh my god.
Oh, it's beautiful. It
Like,
makes your heart melt. And you try and imagine when you're at that moment in the song, that album, remembering how this album started, how it was just like pure chaos and like just mathy madness, and then you're at Hallelujah and you want to cry, and you're like, this is why I like these bands, and this is why I'm here for these bands who don't just want to tag themselves with a genre and fit really, really neatly into a pigeonhole. I'm here for bands that want to just break down the walls of what heavy music is and just do something exciting and something that's going to touch you in many ways. Maybe it makes you fucking angry, maybe it makes you fucking sad, but it's going to touch you, and it's incredible. Like, this album has really blown me away. I'm so glad that you were like, dude, let's do the Agriculture record. Let's do a podcast about the Agriculture record, because like I said, I might have bounced off of it after one listen, because I was like, it's cool, but it's a bit all over the bloody place. But the more I listened to it 3 times in a row today, and like, it's not a small undertaking of a record.
Nah.
Like, it takes it out of you, but it's fucking worth it. This is a really awesome piece of music, and I think that the guys in Agriculture should be very proud of themselves for what they've put together here.
100%, mate. It's brilliant. It's got euphoric moments. It's got like heartbreaking moments. It's got like really cool, weird, jarring moments. It's got all the makings of an album of the year, mate. There's so many more dimensions than they've previously displayed, and they're really well fleshed out. I think this album's got such a brilliantly unique persona. It's weird to like that this record could remind me of like Death Heaven, but then also like Big Thief and like Pine Grove, and like all
Fleetwood
folded
Mac.
into this.
There's a lot of Fleetwood Mac moments,
yeah.
and
like all these things, and the production. I think the production is one of the things that really, because it is quite this interesting like signature sort of lo-fi sound, I think that does a really good job of just sort of pulling all the ideas together and making it more cohesive. I think if it had maybe like a really clean modern job, it might not
it wouldn't
sound
work
as cohesive as this. And I think that does so well. Like, I love like its spirit and its grit, and it's kind of mad to me actually that they're from LA. Like, to me, as someone from the UK, like this sounds like that they should be, kicking about in some sort of like Louisiana barn, or like dwelling on like a back porch, like smoking cigs. Like it doesn't feel like what I have an image of LA as in my head. This is a band from LA just making one of the coolest surprises of the year for me. This is such a brilliant body of work, mate.
Yeah, it's really taken me aback. Big up to Agriculture for this one. If you haven't checked it out, it's a bit more niche. I mean, they're not a small band. They've got like 80, 100k listeners on Spotify. Like, they're not like a massively underground, but you might not have come across them. I would really strongly urge you to go out there and check it out. Check out the self-titled album from before this as well. It's also very good, but this is a very, very marked improvement. Like, yeah, special stuff.
Hell yeah. It rules. Check it out. Do a subscribe if you could. It'd be very good. We're not far off 1,000 subs on YouTube, and that'd be so nice to get there, Gary. It'd be so nice, won't it?
Be so happy.
I'd be so happy. Do some comments. Let us know what you thought of the record. We'll see you next week when we'll be talking about more brilliant new music.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.